I got dinner waiting for me. I'm gonna mess with you. Okay. It'll cost you. There'll be a price on that. Yeah, you'll have to not speak the rest of the night. Okay, I hope the recorder wasn't on that. So I'd like to call to order the Pleasant Grove City Council meeting this evening. This is Tuesday, September the 18th, 2018. We welcome everybody here. I'm Mayor Guy Fugel, and we have one council person that is absent. Todd Williams is in Hawaii, of all places, this evening. So we wish him well. We wish we were all there. But thank you, council, for being here, and also for staff, and also those who have joined us here this evening. Apparently we were anticipating a larger crowd for... But anyway, we'd like to have the Pledge of Allegiance and we've asked Dion Giles, our Director of Parks and Recreation, to come forward to do that, after which we've asked Councilperson Lamone to give us our opening remarks. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Thanks, Dion and Sid. We'll now move to item number 4, approval of tonight's meeting agenda, as Scott outlined in our work session.
I make a motion to approve tonight's agenda, the really long agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
You have a second?
You need to add the executive session. Okay. I'll go ahead and clear that up, Eric.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and approve tonight's agenda with the addition of an executive session for personnel reasons.
I like that better. I'll second that.
That works good. We got to. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We'll now go to item number 5, our open session.
What? No, we're good. Okay.
We're good?
Okay.
But as we go exit into executive, okay.
Okay.
Item A. Okay. We'll now open our open session. Anyone who would like to come forward and address the council could come forward at this time. Let's not all rush the podium all at once. But if no one else, if no one would like to come forward, we will now declare our open session closed, and we'll move on to item 6, our consent items that are listed in your packet and you've reviewed. I would like to ask for a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve our consent items for tonight.
Second. We have a second by Councilman Walker. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll now move on to item 7. So that was
Nobody's smashed any bottles yet. We've got plenty of speeders.
What about
At least
striking?
plenty of complaints about how fast people travel on a brand new road in a neighborhood. And what's the other question?
Striping.
I'm still working on the striping. We're
Okay.
working on a contract for striping in a bunch of places. So we aren't just going to one-off every street. We've got a bunch of those that will be done this fall.
What about any patrol up there, since it's a newer street, to kind of slow things down for a bit?
I think we talked about that. We did get all the signs up for, there is one sight distance issue with the kind of a sharp crested curve on the hill. And then we also made sure that there was all adequate signage up there for the speeding. I think we did take the
Trailer?
speed trailer up there again for a couple days. I don't know if you guys have done any other patrols up there on Murdoch Drive between 11th North and Grove Creek, but
Oh, really? That'd be awesome. So this new equipment will do that's awesome. Have you used the equipment yet? Let's do it. Let's test it out.
okay.
Okay. That'd be awesome. I think they would appreciate that up there, and I can see how people would, especially on that road. But I think that's a great idea. Let's test it out up there. Okay, awesome.
let's put in some speed bumps. Anyway,
Speed bump is what we just removed.
That's right.
but it is a nice road, Marty.
It's a great road.
I think
It's beautiful,
they did a great job.
And
as roads go.
I think as far as access, it's nice not to have to go all the way up and like good or bad. From the neighborhood. The speeding. Oh, I think that's great.
I've had some people comment on it. I haven't had anybody talk to me about the speeders on it though yet. So, but that they must be the ones that are speeding, because they says, "Boy, that's the greatest thing. What, we're going to have more of those coming?" And I says, "Yeah, just hold on. More's coming." Thank you, Marty, for overseeing that. Okay, can we move on now? Okay. All right. Item number 7. Board Commission Committee appointments. We'll move to 7A. So I just, okay.
Had this on like some kind of, watching us, perfect time.
We were, we figured you were still on holiday. So anyway, okay. Okay, 7A. To consider appointment of John Park and Jay Fugel as Fox Hollow Golf Board members.
You want me to make a motion?
You,
Or do we want to hear from him
I
first?
want him to come up. Yeah. John, Jay, do you want to come up? We're going to make sure we approve this appointment the right way.
Hi, I'm John. I live in Pleasant Grove. Figured that out.
Welcome back.
Actually, I just got back from vacation, but my trailer is still on vacation. It kind of blew some springs and stuff in Idaho Falls. So, but I'm back. It's not. I've lived in a couple of years in Pleasant Grove. I'm a retired city manager from Conwood Heights as of 2 weeks ago, and I love golf, and I have a lot of experience in golf. I put together the program and I built the Sleepy Ridge Golf Course, and so I know a lot about running the golf course and what it takes. So I'm excited. I'm just excited to serve in any way that I can.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for jumping right back in. So only volunteer
This is
now.
this is a
You had
little.
2 weeks
I
off.
think this is a little easier
Yeah.
than what I'm
I don't know.
Slightly. I like that.
Do they get down before midnight? I can do that. I can handle that. So. Anyway, no, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
If
John.
elected, I promise to do a good job. So.
Thanks, John.
Jay?
You know, I like that this gets me out of strawberry days for the next, 10 years.
We'll
so
see.
I'm,
No, no, it doesn't.
that's what Scott said, and Kathy's
God
email.
doesn't have control over that anymore, Jay. I'll make sure Lisa sees this.
No, I love golf. I don't know if I'm any good at it, but I sure spend a lot of time at it, probably more than my wife would like me to. But now I have to, right?
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
for the city of Pleasant Grove, so I need
Yeah.
to, right? Done a lot of tournaments, a dozen or more down there with Rick and JT and that group down there at Fox Hollow, and I've gotten to know that group really well, and I'm excited for the opportunity. Looking
Oh.
forward to it.
Thanks, Jay. Thank you.
Okay, with that, I think we've got two great people there to be on the board there. Do I have a motion?
I'll let Diana make the motion.
I would like to make the motion that we
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Welcome, guys. So that's now.
Oh, sure, and then you bail.
Oh, look, he is. He's walking out a little bit happier.
We'll turn the time over to our city manager for 7B to introduce our
Come on up.
new employee.
Okay, you're aware that Karen Besant, our treasurer of 28 years, is retired, and Mike has some big shoes to fill.
Size 13.
Yeah,
Whoa.
probably a little bigger than Karen's. Let's hope he can deliver. Through the application process, we were impressed with Mike's credentials. He has not worked in city government, but has plenty of work in the private sector, doing payroll and the things that this person would be responsible for. There will be a learning curve for him. We were impressed with the resume and even more impressed with the personality and the person he is. We are excited to have him be a part of the administrative team. He will be a good fit. The mayor asked us to take care of the interviews and to do that and to recommend. I talked with the mayor as we got to the point of Mike being our potential appointee, and told the mayor that that's how we would like to proceed as staff and recommend his name. So with that, I don't know if you'll want to ask Mike a few questions. I don't know if Mike's going to want you to appoint him first, and then you can ask him questions. But
What's Mike's last name?
go ahead, Mike.
Gurley,
Gurley.
Gourley. I don't know if you needed that or not.
So tell us about yourself.
So I've actually moved to Pleasant Grove about a year ago. Went down the street a little bit. I've been in Utah my whole life. Grew up here in Orem. I've been working in the accounting and finance industry my entire professional career, about 10 years. Anything else?
Are you related to any Gorleys here in Pleasant Grove?
I am not.
Oh.
My girlies
Oh,
come from Eureka, so we pronounce it a little bit differently.
sorry. Yeah, because I know
No,
Gorleys here.
half of my family says Gorley anyway.
Okay.
So, no, I'm not related to them, but
Well, welcome.
thank you. Thank you. Any other questions?
When's the start date?
October 1st. Yeah.
And he'll be in Karen's same
Everyone
spot.
nods over.
And Scott, he'll be in Denise's. I'm not Denise. Karen's spot. Yes. Okay. Okay. Cool. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. With that, I would like to call for a motion.
I make the motion that we appoint Mike Gurley, correct, as our city treasurer.
A motion. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Walker. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We have no presentations this evening. Item 9 has been continued till our October 2nd meeting. Down to reviewing October 2nd agenda. Which with
Or October
with the
2nd.
last two being kind of short, this one will not be that way.
It'll be a little different. Particularly, the work session will be a tour of the public safety building, particularly the fire station. They did tell us that we call it the Justice Center, the police and courts, will probably be in a position that we can walk through that as well. Of course, the fire station's a lot more further in the process, but they did. We have invited the Public Safety Building Committee to join us for that tour. They are going to provide hard hats, so this is the real deal, and they're saying that you need to come with a closed-toed shoe, so don't show up in your flip-flops. If you will not be here on October 2nd, let me know, and we can set up a specific time for you to come and walk through the building. If that's the case. So they have been invited, yes, and they already have been invited. So we've heard back from 5 or 6 of them that they'd like to join us. We want to start that promptly at 5 o'clock because it will take us, we want to get through and be back in here by 6 so that we can have our regularly scheduled council meeting. So it might be a little quick as far as the tour is concerned, but that's the intent of what we're trying to do. For the October 2nd agenda, we do have the McKay Christensen project, which we are finalizing the code in order to reflect kind of where the council's at and what the direction that we have given McKay. That will go in front of the Planning Commission, and then before you see it on the 2nd of October. And was there anything else? I can't remember if I missed anything. Okay, so we have a couple planning ordinances that Daniel's working on. I excused Daniel tonight. He had some work that he needed to do regarding McKay's project, so he asked if he could stay in the office instead of come to our meeting. So I don't know if he's watching us on the live stream.
Probably not.
Hi, Daniel. But that's those are our items for October 2nd, if there's any questions.
I won't be here on October 2nd.
Okay, so if you want a tour, just talk with me and we'll set that up.
So go ahead and cancel everything.
Okay, we'll just Great, let's cancel the meeting. On top of that, so for the month of October, just so you're aware, we are scheduled to have an open house on October 9th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the community center, at the rec center in the multipurpose room, which will be our open house regarding the CARE tax. So just like we did with the transportation utility fee open house, we will have kind of some cardboard or poster boards set up throughout the room that will have information regarding the nuts and bolts of the CARE tax, what it means. We'll have some pictures of some of the facilities that the money would go towards with explanations of what we're doing. We also have a flyer we're working on that is going to be an informational flyer that will be mailed to every resident in our community in preparation for them knowing what this is, and you know, if they vote yes, this is what's going to happen, or if they vote no, then this will not happen then if you vote no. So we're hoping to send that out the first week in October. It will have the date and time of the open house on the flyer so that they'll get it the week before. Then they can come on October 9th for those that want to gather more information. On the 16th, we'll have our regularly scheduled meetings. On the 23rd, we will have our public meeting that we're required to hold, where we will go over the for and against arguments. So when we do something like this that is a ballot proposition, there are residents that have, if they so choose, to write an argument for the ballot proposition and against. And once they write the for and against, then those are swapped and sent back to those individuals, and then they're allowed to write a rebuttal. So the rebuttals are due by the end of this week. And once those are all done, they will be mailed out in voter information, a voter information pamphlet, but we also have a public meeting in which we will read the for, against, and both of the rebuttals.
That's it. No, there will be no question and answer.
So
Just read
that
them.
will not be a public hearing. In fact, that will be the only thing on the agenda that night. It will not be a city council meeting. It will be a public meeting. We won't have open session or anything like that.
And what day was that?
That's on the 23rd of October. So
Well,
Every Tuesday. That's
every Tuesday in October we will have
the last. The 15th.
I just want to
for
make
the
sure that, because it's fall break, and I don't want people to think that
we're required by law to do it.
on that day. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't mess with Halloween, so yeah.
But it's not
Halloween
I mean,
Eve.
fall break ends the day before, right? So hopefully people
Oh,
are.
okay.
Yeah, it's the Tuesday after fall break.
Okay,
So
all right, then
hopefully
we're good.
people are back
Okay,
in
I just want
town.
to make sure. Okay.
So the 30th, we will not have a meeting, and then, what'd you say, Kathy, was it November 6th? Our first Tuesday in November, we will not have a meeting either, because there's elections that day.
So no meeting for the rest of the year.
Yeah, we're just, after October 23rd, we're just done. We're just going to pack up until January. We actually do have a couple meetings that we do shorten our schedule, and we'll go over this when we get into October. We do shorten the schedule in November and December because of the holidays, but we will need to do a canvas because we have a ballot proposition, so we will have a meeting the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, just so you're aware. But we'll work through that. Kathy needs to change state law. It's all it's on her. So that's our schedule
Before
moving
Thanksgiving.
forward.
Okay.
What, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving?
That apply to
Yes, so wherever there's sales tax is collected, so the sales tax on a hotel room, but not the transient room tax. Yeah, so when they get their bill, it will be the cost of the room, there'll be a sales tax and a transient room tax. The sales tax number is just going to show up as sales tax. It's not going to say care tax on it. That money is going to go to the state, and then the state's going to give a portion of that back to the city based on the one. Doesn't include the TRT, just the sales tax. That's a good question. Anything else? That's
Anything
our
for our city manager? Okay, thank you. We'll now go to back to what we didn't accomplish since you guys got so winded on the Strawberry Days royalty. We will now start with Marty on staff things. I have one question for you, Marty. Is it our plan to redo First South in the spring, then repave it? Is that on the horizon there?
That's a great question, Mayor.
Well, and
So what I would
right-
prefer
right
to
out
do,
here, yeah.
and we still need to probably have this conversation. What I'd prefer to do is look at doing it as part of the project, so we're not doing it, kind of a strip pave with
Yeah.
what we're doing with the public safety building, and then trying to get the rest of it finished up. If we could get that all done at the same time. Now, we could go to the end of where the new parking will be in front of the public safety building, and then look at just doing the very last little piece to Main Street. But we are looking at trying to get that repaved here, whether it is this fall or in the spring. We do want to try to get that taken care of because it's in pretty bad shape. So it's our intent to try to get First South from Main Street to the new PSB building.
And then with that,
essentially done.
you said that would be striped with parking and,
We're talking in front of the park.
Yeah, park.
yeah.
Yeah, it would still be parallel parking just like it is today.
Question I have,
Sorry, angled parking, diagonal parking, not parallel.
the other question I have is, has Kilgore's got the grade cut down out there on the thing there? We got quite a crown there on First. I assume that's all coming out.
And I haven't looked at it, Mayor, honestly, to see if they're going any further. I know that they are working this week to get the final grade cut down and they're bringing that back up. I know they're looking at paving next week on this section here. And so I think next Monday and Tuesday they're paving that. So I'll check with them and look at it. I haven't been out there on site to see that there's a big grade difference. When I was out there, I wasn't. Is there a specific section that you're
Well,
seeing that.
Now
It's already been cut down like a foot and a half
Well,
from what I can see.
Yeah, but now would be the time to, on First East, our portion, to just get that all out of there, because it's such a high crown, and even gives us the opportunity maybe even to lower that curb a little bit on the south side because of the elevation change.
Oh, you're
just,
saying
would you look at that?
Are you saying the First South connection to
Yes,
First East?
yes.
So we met out there last Friday with with Kilgore and with our Big D, and kind of work through that as far as what they're going to do. They're just going to cut that back right now because it's not in Kilgore's contract to do First South work,
Right.
and First South's not ready to be cut down to its final level to the new driveway elevation.
Okay.
So I'll look at it just to make sure that we're there. When we talked about it, they gave us the design. They actually staked it per the design of the PSB, so
Okay.
the curb could be put in at the right elevation based on that design. But we may not be able to get it cut down until Big D's ready to do that.
So we got it closed anyway, but the new pavement will be here and our old pavement's up here.
Now,
Looks like to me.
What Kilgore is doing is they're matching the lip of gutter across that. They've got to create a little bit of a
across the
crown
cross section.
because the stormwater actually turns the corner and goes to Main Street. So there will be a little bit of a crown there, but everything will be cut down and matching across that road. That crown on that road was originally really high, so
Yeah, that's.
so it's a big difference in what it's going to be. So
I just didn't want this new First East to match
Yeah.
that crown, and we go, boy, that could have got rid of that. But you're ahead of me on that.
yeah,
so
we'll look at
you
that
can
and
talk
make sure
about
that it's good in the end. But
it. Okay. So
First East is moving forward based on our last meeting last week. I think they're trying to get everything from 22nd to State Street, well now 2nd South, completed it by the middle of October. So we've got about 3 to 4 more weeks here, and everything should be brought up to final grade, the final lifts, and everything taken care of there. So everything's moving forward on that. They're currently working on the 2600 North intersection, and they'll be working to keep traffic moving through there as best they can as they get the new alignment constructed, and then they'll be shifting traffic back and forth to be able to get traffic through there since we've got it shut down right now south of 2600 North. So there's a lot going on still on First East. There's a lot to still be done this year to get there. They're based on their scheduling, they feel like they're still going to get there as far as probably towards the end of October, as far as having that back together from curb to curb. Everything behind the curb they're still going to be working on through the winter, and then everything will be finalized in the spring as far as behind the curb elevation. So as far as that, Murdoch Drive is done. We've got a lot of things going. We've had some interesting discussions on water, and just not to alarm anybody, but we do have a bunch of our wells that are kind of at their minimum level, or the farthest down levels that we've seen in recent history. And so, for example, 2007, we had our Brimley well, kind of elevations on that dropped to a level that we hadn't seen before. This year, we're about 15 feet below what that level was in 2007. The water table in the aquifer is dropping. We've talked about that. This year is a kind of a unique year. We've very little water, very little recharging that's happening. It appears in that aquifer. And so we're talking about that and just trying to plan for, this is what happens in a desert. There's drought cycles and you've got to deal with those. And so we're trying to be on top of that and look into that and see what we can do to just make sure that water's there. There's no alarm. There's no concern. We're not running out of water. It's just another one of those reminders that how important this resource is, and making sure that we've got the ability to capture those resources and bring them to the citizens. So we're looking at that. I just wanted you to be aware we're seeing levels that are way below normal and below what we've recorded in recent past on that. So
we used our allotment this year.
Well, he's talking about drinking water.
So we're talking drinking water in all of our drinking water wells. But to go along with that, our secondary water, we've used a bit of our holdover water We've still got some available that we'll be able to carry over into next year. We didn't burn through everything. We're not yet at the end of the season, but we still have some holdover water that we'll be able to utilize next year as well. So we're kind of in the process of now. We're almost through the season. As we're getting these final reportings of how much we've used this year, we'll better, in the next month and a half, we'll better be able to evaluate where we ended up this year, where we're going to be next year, and depending on the type of water year we get over the winter, that'll make the big difference there. So again, poor water year like we had this year, we're going to be in trouble. But if we can get some water up in those mountains, then we should be okay. So yeah, lots of things moving forward. The Battle Creek Springs project is right next, as far as we're going to try to get that going and bid out here, and probably in the next month and a half. Again, we bid it out a few years ago. We're looking to start construction as soon as snow comes off the mountain in the spring, usually around middle of June. So we have that fun project to do this next year. We've got some State Street work that we're working on right now. They moved the project back on State Street to 2019, 2020. The spring of 2020 is when they're planning on that. So next year we've got the sewer line project that we're looking at getting done between Pleasant Grove Boulevard and 220 South, and another crossing on State Street. So we're in the middle of the designs of those, and also the 2 signals at 220 South, 550 South. We're getting ready to bid those out, and so I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks we'll have those out to bid, so construction can happen hopefully here before December on those signals. So we're still busy, a lot of things going on, and trying to keep things moving. So if there's any other questions, I can answer any questions you have. But
Thank you.
I know. Hey, Mayor, before we go
Yes.
further, I asked Dion to grab Stacy Martineau. She is over the Heritage Festival, and she also works at the library, but I thought maybe she could come in just for a couple minutes so we could
okay.
thank her for the Heritage Festival, but also maybe just give a quick recap, Stacy, on how you felt that it went. And
Come up to the front up here.
We felt it went really well, even with the frustrations with First East and having it already. We had it all planned to use quite a few of the downtown area, but we've got a good group of people, and they just kind of rolled with it. So everything fit. We are coming in under budget without even the money coming from this doTERRA Strawberry Days thing. So we've got a finishing follow-up meeting on October 4th. Where we'll start the planning for next year. Got a few more things that we can add to it, including a shootout and more characters that will actually roam the park, adding the flavor of 1850, more things going on at that time. We'll add Panning for Gold, the Brigham Young alphabet, and hopefully more things that will appeal to a broader spectrum, and trying to come up with a way to get to. We have so much multi-family housing that we don't have direct access to get to. So many of them do not get utility bills, and so they're missing out on a lot of the things that the city does, both here at the library and the different events. So we've got to come up with a way to access all those families, because those are our young families that we want to start getting in the tradition of attending city things and being involved, being part of the community. So,
and Stacy, this is our pottery maker who we're going to have a station for next year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. Excited about that. That is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Sweet. That will be fun. Because they did so many amazing things back then with no technology. They had to figure out so much, and it's neat to experience that kind of ingenuity. So that will be fun. We're losing some of the arts. We'd like to bring it back.
How did your dinner go?
I never got any.
Oh, you never got any?
No, which is the only problem with having Jason cook, is I never get any. It was amazing. He's already got next year's menu planned. He's aiming for something a little more accessible. So it'll be probably a pulled pork sandwich type thing with chips and more priced a little more equally for more people to be able to take advantage of it. $16 was a lot for a lot of people until they saw how much food there really was. A lot of food.
Stacy does an amazing job. There was, I mean, a huge crowd the entire night. The music, I mean, all the activities, and this is all that, you know, you do all this volunteer. So we really appreciate you. And this is what, your third or fourth year?
Second.
Second.
It
It feels like
feels
four
like it,
to you. Yeah. Well, I just feel like you've been doing it forever because you do such a great job. So thank you so much.
It was fun.
Oh. Oh, good. Yay, thank you. Thank you for coming. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
So we'll work on getting our park back, but that's tall order, but we'll
If not, we'll just keep rolling with it. We'll just
but I think
take over
most of
Main
it will
Street.
be back.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Right, Dion?
Yeah.
So,
And Dion's guys were amazing. They were there
Yeah.
early. They set everything up brilliantly. They were helpful, just so generous with their time. That's a good crew.
Good group.
yeah.
We're grateful
Well,
for
thanks, Stacey. I just want to make sure we publicly recognized you and all your efforts because it was a hit and it just continues to grow. And that's the whole point, is to make sure people understand our heritage. So thank you.
It matters.
For volunteer. Yeah, it does. So, hey, that's our new tagline. It matters. Yeah, I love it. Thank you.
It doesn't have hootenanny in it, but
That was a great
Thanks, Stacey.
celebration.
Yeah.
Let's give her a hand. I like to do. Of course, I like food. Kyler.
Just two things. First is we do have a building inspector position that opened up today, so you'll see that online. And then second, I just want to reiterate what was said earlier about how excited we are for Mike to join our team. I think he's someone who really, I think, will stand out, has a great personality, will fit in well. So we're excited to dump some of our responsibilities back on him.
Okay. Tina, do you have anything else for us, Stephen? Got anything else? Denise? Thanks for having money in the bank to cover the checks. Appreciate that. Oh. This can hardly wait.
Everybody is praying for Mike.
Anything from the PD anymore? Thank you for Chief.
And then we send how many guys?
Thank you. Huh.
Yeah, blow it out to Vernal. So anyway. Okay. Dion, do you have anything from Okay. If not, we'll start down here on Diana. Yeah. We still feel for your loss and hope everything went well on Saturday. And so. Sid, do you want Eric? Well, okay, did they leave the house though?
They left the house.
Okay, they haven't moved back in yet.
They're
Then,
in a cabin
huh?
somewhere.
Okay, all right, that's good.
That was a beautiful.
I wanted to get there and I never. Lynn.
It's been good.
Good. I think things are going well here. Kathy.
So blow the wind back this way.
Well
Well,
timed, Mayor.
boy, what a time to have a conference in Vernal. So, yeah.
That's a lot of burning.
Okay. So if there's nothing else, I think we're finished for this evening. We don't have any plats to sign, or I think we've got a few things here to sign before you leave here. So I would like a motion to close this meeting and go into closed session to discuss the to discuss the character, professional competence, or physical or mental health of an individual.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor of this, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We will now go to closed session.